Hello, this is J.N.S. and happy Friday, guys. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day and had a beautiful week. And so, you guys know we're doing our weekly tarot, and we are going to start as per usual with our review of last week's reading. Matter of fact, we may want to share that first. Yes, so we had talked about a couple of things last week, and this video was recorded. Last week's video was recorded on September 13th, 2024. And so we said that there would be some things around major shifts in the country around housing policies and things to do with housing, as well as the potential for, unfortunately, a death. We felt like there would be someone that was major, a celebrity of some sort, dying, or like a sacrifice. And so we want to review those things and see what transpired and what happened over the week since September 13th. And then we will go into next week's events. And so again, we're doing probability distribution science. The module or the modality that we use is the tarot, and you can do probability distribution science with a number of tools, various tools. And so my choice is the tarot, pictograms, ideograms. One day I'll probably just create my own and do that. And so for those that may be new to how it works, it's pretty much you're looking at for me, I can only express how it works for me. I can't express how it works for anybody else. But for me, it works as me being able to connect to the Earth's database of collective consciousness. And so there's what we would call qubits of information. And those qubits of information are pretty much photons, but they carry a binary code, or they carry a computational code of either zero ones for the Earth level. And by being able to see in that realm, I'm able to kind of see the energy that's going to take place, and even mold it and shift it and narrate it myself, and program the algorithm myself, to a degree. And in some things, it's more so of like it's kind of like looking, jumping, quantum leaping ahead a bit, looking at it and then coming back. And you could do this all through consciousness and interdimensional uh, travel through consciousness, like literally while you're in the wake state. And so it's nothing new. It's been done for thousands of years. But there's levels to it. There's levels. You have the Earth records of qubit information, so it's like our own, pretty much our own database of information, that we can decipher. Again, that's that qubit, 0101's quantum positioning, but also gets a little bit into like, it's not quantum entanglement, but it is more so of each qubit has a program to it, a code. There's zero ones, and then another element of it is that it's a photon of information, like an actual light, a subatomic particle of light that contains information. For me, I have to say, when it comes to predictive programming, it's more so of looking at the photon of information. But if it comes to scripting, then I have to use the actual qubit code. And that's just the Earth level. That's a very basic level. It's just this transducer type element in terms of quantum teleportation and the way the universe works. You have the Akashic records, you have a universal records, you have there's levels to it. And so, as we know, the way that the universe speaks is through information theory, game theory, numerology, astrology, probability distribution science, the organizing of entropy. And so that allows you, being connected to that, we want to say maybe the mind of God, allows you to kind of see things before it happen. I'm not even the best at it, to be honest. Um, and I'm not saying I can decipher everything correctly, because I don't at times. And so I'm okay with that. It's not about being able to know everything or see everything or know the future. No one knows the future. Things change. That's why probability distribution science gives you the ability to see a likely outcome based on the continuous variables that you use to program your vortex space. And so America has a vortex space, the earth, the planets, the countries. And so whatever that vortex space is, I'm able to look into that. And so that's the long and short of it for those that wanted to know, like, well, what is this all about? Like, what exactly is tarot? Tarot itself is an ancient divination system that is based on several esoteric schools of thoughts or mystery sciences. However, as far as like tarot 2.0, as far as how I do it, I don't necessarily need to know, well, I do know the ancient systems, but it's not necessary for anyone in today's time in 2024 to actually have to know, like, say, Kabbalah or alchemy or numerology, because we're dealing with quantum computing now. And so it's not necessarily necessary for them to know the ancient sciences, because a lot of those sciences, unfortunately, are either misinterpreted, bastardized, or have information that is missing. And so the way God is setting up the new day is where anyone that is tuned in, that does the work, can acquire the ability to be able to look themselves at the qubits of information that is surrounding them from the earth collective consciousness realm, universal database, or going up into the akashic records. It depends on the necessity, the energy, and what's warranted at that time. And so that's the day that we are in. And so and then we're trying to understand this idea that divination is probability distribution science, and the public is not aware of that. The public thinks that the way advisors do this work is they're talking to spirit, or they're talking to a entity or a dead loved one. And maybe it's certain, maybe they are, that's the way it's done. But as far as the more of the qualitative quantum mechanics behind probability distribution science, which is known as divination, yeah, it's pretty dry. But I know that humans themselves, they need to hear, oh, it's coming from a source, it's coming from the spirit, it's coming from your ancient ancestor that's telling this information to me. um it sometimes, yes, sometimes, but I will say for the weekly tarot videos, no, I'm not communicating with any spirits. I'm not communicating through any esoteric system. It's just me literally looking at the Earth's collective unconscious computer. Like, it's literally like looking at a computer and seeing the energy of what's going to be next week, and then up it happens. And so we've been very accurate, uncannily accurate, for the last 7 months. And again, I'm not one to say, oh, I know everything. I know time frames. I know this. I know that. Because that's an arrogant approach for a gift. And so I don't know everything, and if I don't connect with you, or if, they say, if someone is my client and whatever, and if I don't see, if some things are blocked because I'm not supposed to see it, you're not supposed to see it either. And so you have to respect and honor that. And you have to be okay with the unknown. And that's how those doors open up. That once you're okay with the unknown, once you're okay with the entropy, uh and again, entropy is not disorder or randomness, it's probability distribution, and you have to organize it, not reduce it, because it's ever expanding. It's a part of the universe, it's a part of the mind of God. And so entropy is not negative. And when I know that, I think it was like the my big toe theory, it was a book by, I want to say, with me, maybe a physicist. It was called My Big Toe Theory or something like that, or the theory of everything. One of those physicists, they made like this huge demarcation of that you have this larger consciousness system that is love, and then you have entropy. Entropy is love. Entropy is one of the ingredients of dark energy. And so we talk about the energy that makes up the universe, that you don't understand. And so uncertainty and randomness is not a bad thing. And so that's what humanity has to understand in order to catch them up into the ways of the universe, into the ways of galactic thinking, and which is what we're trying to do. It's not easy. There's a lot of programming, it's a lot of things that can catch us up, including even myself. And so we do the best we can. We put our best foot forward at all times, and we work with love. We work out of love. We do everything out of love, and even for ourselves. And it's not totally altruistic. We look out for ourselves on the back end, and that's just human nature. And so, yes, enough with the tangent. I hope you guys understand somewhat of what I'm saying. I'll break it down as much as possible. I'm actually going to be teaching some qualitative Nakhti quantum mechanics that will bridge the gap between your current laws of thermodynamics on planet Earth and the laws of thermodynamics as it is in the galaxy and the universe. And we won't, you know, get into that in this video, but it'll be some pretty cool information. And I thank God. I thank God for using me as that vessel to get that information out. It's truly remarkable. God is truly remarkable. And so, yes, let's start. Let's do the review. Let's start with the review because we said it was going to be something majors with housing. And we said it was going to, and again, the reason why we do these weekly tarot videos is so that we all know what the hell we kind of can look into, or what maybe some things that could be beneficial to us, but some things we need to look out for, you know, and you under your own volition and agency and autonomy pick and choose, what's relevant, what's not. Okay, see things that you want to tune into. It doesn't mean you shift your life around it or change anything. It's just something interesting. Especially like last week we talked about them apprenticeships. We actually saw like some specific apprenticeships that came to pass, and so there are people that could take advantage of that because it's so new. They're coming out with, like, literally last week we said there would be so many apprenticeships, and they came out with like brand new apprenticeships surrounding like EV and 50 new programs. Like they're allocating millions and millions of dollars to start these apprenticeship programs, and so that is something that the public can take advantage of. Like they're like, oh shoot, let me sign up. It's some of the stuff is so early. It's not even you have to. It's like it's like being on a waiting list, or the applications are not yet available, but they will be. So that's the reason why we're doing this, because it's like, okay, people can jump on this stuff early. Now this stuff that I'm about to tell you about, this housing stuff, this is something that once again is relevant to the American people. They could jump on this stuff early. A lot of this stuff, I mean, for those that watch my weekly tarots, they could jump on it, take note of it, look it up, and start to see what kind of housing program, because I'm telling you, this stuff is nationwide. A lot of this I'm programming, but a lot of this is part of that qubit predictive programming shit. And so when we jump, when we do these videos and you see it, okay, this program coming out, they talking about 100 million. I'm telling you, this housing stuff is about to get popping. And so these programs is about to come out, and you want to jump on it early. They about to have some cool shit. They talking about giving out rental vouchers just today, the government. And so you want to jump on this shit early, get in front of it. Okay, and so that's why we do it, and that's what I like to try to do, is to find, if find something that's going to be relevant, helpful. It's not just to sit and look cute on the internet. we you know My first job is as a teacher, and as I generally, I'm generally like to help. I'm generally a force for good. I'm not here to cause any harm to anyone. And so when we go through these these resources, take note of them, write this shit down, Google it yourself, and see what kind of programs, because it's so many programs that happen this week statewide. We would be sitting here all day if I went through all of the housing stuff that popped off this week. We talking about major resources. And so you want to go and look up your state, because I'm guarantee you the states that I'm showing you today, I'm telling you, is way more. We don't have enough time to go through every damn state. This stuff rolled out on a federal level, but every state copies one another. So I'm telling you, the states that we cover today, and even Cherokee Nation came out with a major housing program this week. The Cherokee Nation, California, Illinois, Detroit, the colleges, everything. So jump on this shit that I'm about to show you. So let's review. We said what we said was going to happen. I'm excited because I like it's a housing crisis in this country, and I want to see everybody have a good, affordable, safe, clean, nice housing, something nice and basic and whatever they want. They got a family, they single. I'm single, so I don't. I'm not one that need no big ass house, but I want to see everybody housed. It's a lot of homelessness. In America, it's a lot of bullshit going on. The housing is $2,000 for rent. We talking about just for a one bedroom studio and shit in certain places, and so it's getting ridiculous. And so, you know, let me stop being long winded and let's get to it. Let's get back to what. So now we're starting with the review. Uh, we're doing. We were looking at this week's reading. Okay. And so I was saying that it looks like we may see something come out with housing, relating to housing. And that could be like something with also improvements around renovations with housing, but also some actual changes. I would say this looks to be for the better, to be honest, and that could be something on a national level with housing. This could be again a housing policy, housing program changes around something relating to that, or renovations and home improvement. Okay, so you guys heard it. So let's look at it. Look at this. September 19th. That's yesterday. Look at this. In a major shift, the US government explores giving renters cash, not vouchers. So look at the Department of Housing and Urban Development is exploring the idea of giving struggling Americans cash instead of vouchers. Um, I don't know if I agree with that. That might seem like unlikely, bold new for the Federal Housing Agency, except the terms out back in the 1970s. HUD was already testing that idea. Okay, so they're looking at something with HUD given is voucher. They have a voucher program, as we know, and then they're talking about exploring the idea of giving cash. It says, have we been doing it wrong? The underlying problem that we're facing is just because you get a voucher allocated to you does not mean you get to use it. Vouchers allow recipients to pay 30% of their income on rent, with all the government covering the rest. But according to analysis, 40% of all vouchers were not able to sign a lease after looking for 6 months because of the rejection rates. The rejection rate. So landlords are put off by agency red tape and things like mandatory inspections to make a property safe. See that this one is not really relevant for like the average American, because a lot of Americans don't use HUD, but cash may allow people to move into better neighborhoods. Okay, that that's ideal. That's ideal. HUD's call to explore cash payments will help design. So this is a pilot program. So I guess like those who get HUD, they'll be able to get the cash and probably be able to move around better, to move in better neighborhoods, find housing better. It is harder for people to find housing if they get HUD. So that I'm aware of. I have people in my family that get HUD. So I do know that it is harder. So I guess this could be something that would be a good thing. But look at this one right here. This was also yesterday. Governor Newsom signs bipartisan housing package and launches Prop 1 Home Key Plus initiative. See, it says more housing, more accountability, more transparency. And so this was just yesterday. Governor Newsom today signed a new bipartisan legislative package to strengthen California's laws addressing the housing and homelessness crisis. The law represents a comprehensive effort to streamline housing production and hold localities accountable to state housing law. So this program is 2.2 billion in funding to build permanent supporting houses for veterans and other individuals with mental health or substance use disorder challenges who are at risk of experiencing homelessness. This program is known as Home Key Plus. Will extend the successful Home Key model by emphasizing the acquisition and rehabilitation of existing buildings or other projects that can be quickly converted or constructed into permanent affordable housing. I can tell you this right now that I saw. Matter of fact, let's look it up, because y'all think that this shit is not a joke. Like when we do these probability distribution science and this predictive programming shit, with me programming this matrix, this shit is real. And so that's not the only state that's doing that. We just don't have enough time to be going through all of it. What else? Who else was doing that? Matter of fact, I have it. I have it right here. I have it. Let's go back here, because California is not the only one. And see, I had saved a lot of this stuff because I just go in and type in housing. That's literally all I did. I just went in Google and typed in housing. So let's see. This was Miami Dade. See, so you see how they talking about right here. It says they're going to you emphasize the acquisition and change existing buildings. Miami, Florida is doing that same thing too. Look at this. They're going to be converting their hotels though, the hotels into housing conversion for low income. So they're going this allows us to expend. They're going to spend, I guess, like 14 million on this. Um, some of the look at the key requirements for in Florida. Tenants must pay 1/3 of their income or available funds. Background checks from prospective tenants. No conversion into a shelter. No needle exchange programs. Housing exclusively for senior citizens. Okay. So this is Miami-Dade approves hotel to housing conversion. So they're going to be doing this. I'm telling you, they're going to be. This is everywhere, as they say, as California so old a nation. And so I am telling you to jump on this stuff for those that are, looking for, certain programs like this, especially like they say, and with this program helps the veterans and other individuals with mental health or substance use disorder challenges. And so this is what I would say is cool. And it says California is taking action to fix decades of long homelessness, housing, and mental health crisis. They know they got to, I'm telling you, this is what the new laws do: increase accountability for local governments by creating stricter timelines and more robust requirements for local governments to report on housing progress, strengthen enforcement and penalties, streamline housing production by reducing regulatory barriers, promoting housing near transit, and providing incentives for senior housing, student housing, and accessory dwelling units. So, what is the chances? Everybody knows that California is, if this was a country on its own, it would be like the sixth most powerful country in the world. And so, what are the chances of this happening the week that we say it's going to happen? We're talking about probability distribution science of likely outcome. And so guys, we used DTRO as the pictographic tool to connect it to the qubit universe or collective consciousness of Earth to see it. And so as you can see, we see the housing. How do we see that housing? That Four of Wands tell us that's housing. How do we know that there's going to be major changes? Because we see death. Okay. And how do we know that there's hope and renewal and things that are going to be good? How do we kind of tell it was more of a benefit for Americans? Because of the star, the magician, the two of cups. Okay, it's right there in front of you. The six of pentacles. That gives you the energy. Now we're looking at, obviously each one has a message. Which with the Six of Pentacles, for instance, we're looking at give and take, the balance of management of resources, allocation of resources. That lets you know there's going to be some sort of resource of allocation coming. Four of Wands is housing. Sometimes it can mean marriage. Sometimes it can mean celebration. Sometimes it means home renovation. Sometimes it can mean family reunion. But for me, I saw housing. Okay. Usually when I see this, and if it's what I saw, it's probably what I wanted it to be, and it ended up programming the matrix. But let's be real. These programs are going to be very beneficial to a lot of people, and we need it, and we need more, more, more. And so I'm very happy about this because, again, whatever I can do to help. I know my Hecka game is hella strong. I know, how to program a lot of this matrix, and so I'm a program this bitch to help people. I'm not here to, yeah, I could program it to help myself, but I'm helping myself. I'm shit. You don't think I'm concerned with how I've been screaming from the rooftop about housing, housing, housing. So I said, shit, fuck this. Let me go in here. I done added Trump about housing, done added Biden, whoever for housing, because I'm thinking, this is stuff that will benefit me. And so, but I know that I know the American people, I'm tuned in. So I'm like, I know that this is something we are dealing with, even though people don't want to admit it. The white folks don't want to admit that rent is sky high. Everybody, black people want to act like they are six-figure niggas. Everybody will act like we are, making six figures of. Nah, people is out here going through it. Yeah, I can't fool me. You can fool somebody else. You can't fool me. But yes, this is one of the programs. Now look at this. There's more and more programs. Look at this. Built to rent communities, a growing U.S. trend amid sky high rising costs. This was yesterday. American renters, 86% can't afford a home. 54% unlikely they ever will. See? And so we got to program this matrix. See, it can't just be one motherfucker. Yeah, I'm a cold motherfucker, but we need more and more and more humans saying, we need affordable housing. We need good, clean housing too, not no project building. You ain't gonna sit 62,000 people to a fucking big ass sky-rise building with a bunch of damn roaches and stuff like that I got in New York City. No, we talking about clean, affordable housing that looks beautiful. For people to get into, the people that work hard, they go pay their money, whatever, they pay their rent, and it's affordable. So they got this built to rent program that's going to be coming out, and they got 97,000 residential homes last year built to rent. Let's look what that is. It says rent versus mortgage, 828. So this is what I'm saying. A lot of people, they're able to actually afford the mortgage, but for whatever reason, the credit or whatever, they're not able to get the mortgage. So we got people that's paying $2,000 in rent, right? They say they want to get $100,000 house. That'd be like what, $1,000 in a mortgage fee, right? They try to get the house, they can't get the house, so they stuck paying $2,000. That's locking people out. We're talking about. This was a white lady crying about this. She was like literally crying on the internet on a viral video saying that she's paying $2,000 in rent. She can technically afford the mortgage is $1,000, but they said no because of whatever is on her credit or whatever. What things happen. It could have been a fucking medical bill because this lady had children, and so this is happening all across the country. It's affecting Black Americans. They got this shit in Venezuela. The Black Americans they brought in all these Venezuelans, right, and the Black American neighborhoods, and they kicked out all the Black American residents. These gangs, Venezuelan gangs, took over the rental management building and everything, and is forcing the Black Americans to pay the Venezuelan gangs the rent money. That's crazy as hell. And so we're talking about safe housing, affordable housing. Okay. And so this was yesterday. Look at this. Built to rent communities are going to be spreading across Sunbelt, including Phoenix, Atlanta, and Dallas. Let me look at this myself. I ain't going to hold you. I need to know what this is because, yeah. Okay, so these so-called built to rent communities offer another option for those who want a home but cannot afford to buy one. Wow. Okay, so let's look at this. Texas resident Richie Blow says he rented homes 90 minutes from Houston. It's a good stepping stone because interest rates are just too high to manage. Despite saving diligently to buy a home, he and his fiance feel priced out of the house hunt. Okay. Okay. So housing prices have gone up more than 40% in just 4 years. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Built to rent communities. This is actually interesting to me. Let's see. Says the perfect arrangement allows her to enjoy amenities without the home ownership and responsibilities. See, Americans, jump on it. Start to type in built to rent communities up wherever you're at. A lot of people, this is in Arizona, this is in Texas, this is going to Georgia, so come on, jump on it. Look at this sweet home. So I guess this is like an alternative or something like that. I like this. I like the idea of it because a lot of people don't want to have the homeowner expenses and the homeowner responsibilities. So probably the built to rent model, this could be something that is doable, especially if there's some sort of rent stabilization and it's affordable. Let's see. It says Brent Longlegs in the rent built to rent expansion is in Arizona. The renters range in from Gen Z to baby boomers. See? And so we got that. That's yesterday. Look at this. Cherokee Nation proposes permanent housing law for housing crisis. This is September 17th. Cherokee Nation is a big nation. Many of you guys have Cherokee blood. Many of you are not federally recognized as part of the nation. For whatever reasons, a lot of Black Americans decided to not turncoat on. I won't say turncoat. That's not the right word, but there's a lot of Black Americans that made that choice. I would say to not join the Cherokee Nation. There are many that have though, and so this will affect a lot of Black Americans. I know Black Americans that literally hold Cherokee IDs, and so this is nothing. It's nothing new. But let's see what kind of laws they got. Okay, so let's see. If the proposal passes, 85% of the funds will be dedicated to housing needs and planning, and the remaining 15% will go towards community development. Chief Chuck Huskin Jr. said the chief tribes are intended to alleviate the national housing crisis. Again, I can't overstate the housing problem that we have in the country and in the region and in the state and in the reservation. See how he's talking? In the region, in the state, and because there's a lot of people that's a part of Cherokee Nation, they may not stay on the reservation. Anything we can do to alleviate a single person, a single individual's housing problem is going to help with that overall deficit. The legislation goes before Cherokee Nation Council Rules Committee for review September 26. If passed, a special session for further consideration will be held later that same day. That's major. Cherokee Nation proposes permanent housing law for housing crises. Okay, so that's one. And then we have this one. Housing development is eyed on about 50 acres of empty San Jose land. Well, over 100 homes are being planned. Some will be affordable. See, this stuff is, you got to jump on it early. You know, y'all love to say I'm the crazy lady, whatever. September 18th. What are the chances? Look at this one. Illinois can boost housing affordability with statewide zoning reform. Oregon made statewide changes in its zoning policies to help keep housing prices affordable. Many states have followed its lead. Illinois should too. This was September 17th. It's coming. Oh, I'm telling you, it's coming. Because I done put my heck on this. Like, it's like, you know how people had them darts and you got to shoot it out your mouth with them darts? It's like I wish. Do you guys remember the movie Apocalypto when the dude, the Jaguar guy, he had when he had took that thing in his mouth and he spit out and he was spitting out those arrows and it was hitting people in the neck. I don't know if you guys remember that. That's what I do with my Hecka. When I say I want something done with this housing, and I mean that, it's like me, I don't be hitting people with a neck with it, but I'm just saying, like, I be shooting that shit out in the universe like that, like just right out my mouth, like, hell no, because I'm dealing with it too. You know, and so people could say, "Oh, worry about yourself, focus on your oldies. Why you worried about that thing?" If I got ability to program this entire matrix, oh, you better believe I'm gonna program it for myself. But why not help motherfuckers? You know what I mean? Like, why? Like, it's a lot of people going through this, and so that's pretty much what I be doing. Like, and we gonna this is gonna help a lot of people. So Florida, Wisconsin, Vermont, Arizona, Virginia, Tennessee, Colorado, they're going to be expanding. You see it right here. The trend continued. The housing, the expand housing development. And so they cut the tape, proposal to limit zoning, and it's to speed up the processes and allow for a greater variety of housing. And that's important because a lot of the younger generation, and myself included, we like them little tiny home ideas. Like, we like, we ain't trying to, you get your little parcel of land and you spend about a 20 G's on a fucking tiny home and it's just you. And they got modular homes. Modular homes mean you can build as you go. So now you can combine the tiny home movement with the modular home movement, and now you can build as you get your money up. You build something small, you want to, a couple years later or 2 years later, 1 year later, you want to add to the modular home, you want to have a baby, you add to the modular home, add a room for the baby, you add to the modular. That's what we going into. That's what's perfect for us. And so that's why I like when these zoning reform is going to allow for, I would say we need it for modular and that tiny home, because a lot of these Gen Zs and the millennials, they're going to be starting off with a damn tiny home any damn way, especially the women's. It start off, and then when they want to get married or want to have a partner come in or want to have a baby, then they can add to the modular home, start to expand it out. And so, again, when we talk about economies of win-win and economies of scale, this is something that is still, I would say, um, a win-win for all stakeholders involved, including the American citizen who's making the purchase. And so I like this idea. Statewide zoning reform, please make it more accessible to build the tiny homes on parcels of land as well as modular. That's my only request. Whatever else they're going to do it. So Mayor Duggan, council members pitch new plan to finance affordable housing. Once again, September 17th. This is cool. So, guys, if you were in Detroit, look at it. This is the program. It's called Fast track pilot ordinance, a plan that will offer property tax cuts to developers based on rent prices. In other words, the more affordable the units, the deeper the tax reduction, according to officials. The ordinance will shorten the approval time for projects from 8 to 10 months to 1 to 2 months if developers agree to keep rents reduced for 15 years. If we do not build more affordable housing, all those Detroiters who stayed are all ultimately going to get pushed out. This is a tax break for our low to moderate income residents. Mixed use commercial residential developments in East English Village are currently under restriction. See, look, so you better jump and Google it. If you in Detroit, a lot of you got a lot of Black Americans, you got family in Detroit, you know, pilot fast track to speed. The way new affordable housing projects are approved, with the goal of making Detroit the easiest community in Michigan to build affordable housing. And see, they're gonna pilot this shit. I'm telling you, you saw what happened in California. This gonna get real. It's gonna be a variety of things for a variety of income brackets, for a variety of communities, whether you're more into the city living, urban, rural, uh more of intentional community type, tiny home type, single family units, luxury high rise, luxury apartments, like communities like Serenbe. Like this is going to be like tiered out. So wherever you get in, you could fit in stuff that benefits the developers, that benefits the landlords, that benefits tax reductions for the landlords and developers, reductions, things that benefit those who want to even buy a single family home, build to rent homes that we just covered, build to rent homes. Those that still get HUD, they'll be benefit. They talking about giving them cash instead of instead of the voucher, so that they can find housing easier. If you get cash, instead of getting that housing voucher, you're going to be able to move in better areas. Probably just be able to just get a house, 1 bedroom house, 2 bedroom house, whatever. So this is going to be major. Now look at this. Now we're dealing with student housing. Dartmouth kicks off 500 million, and there was a lot of stuff going with student housing. Again, let's see if I can type it in. I'm just typing student housing in Google. Okay, look at this. So amid a critical demand for housing, two of the nation's tallest dorms open at UC San Diego. That was just one day ago. That was just yesterday. So it's going to be this housing stuff is going to be important. But look at this $500 million investment to tackle campus housing crunch. This was this week too. Dartmouth, $500 million. That's quite a bit of money, but they get a lot of endowment, so they could probably afford it. Um, but yeah, they look at this. They got this is one of they I guess they schematics for the type of housing they want to do. And I'm telling you, this is just this week alone. This is going to take a life of its own. And what I will love, I can't wait to see these built to rent communities, and zoning reforms to make the variety of housings easier, such as the tiny. There was still a lot of stuff around container homes and modular homes and tiny homes. We got to get rid of all them regulations, because that allows for the housing to be built quicker and long term. Because I'm telling you, that modular idea is a smart idea, and they got all different types of materials to build these modular homes with. Now you can build your dream home step by step, instead of having to, oh, I gotta you pay it all at once. You can build as you motherfucking go, and that's perfect for a person like me. That's perfect, building as I go, you know as you that's in order to build to rent community. I think I like that idea too. Shit, I'm a simple motherfucker. I just want me a nice tiny home that's completely self sufficient. That's not attached to any home or nothing like that. Just a simple tiny home, and I can build as I go. And so that's what a lot of Americans will be looking for, and I think that's sufficient for these Gen Zs coming up, and for these millennials that's locked out currently. A lot of us, we feel locked out. We may be able to be paying the 2,000, 1,500, 2,500. There's people paying $3,000 in rent, but they try to go get a mortgage and they can't get a mortgage, even though the mortgage would be cheaper. So, it's going to be a lot coming with that, and I'm for it. I'm here for it. So Dartmouth has invested 500 million, but what I really was impressed with this was this housing package and this Prop One key home, this Prop One home key initiative. I like that. That's in California. We need that kind of nationwide, especially for the veterans. I like this build to rent community thing that's coming. We need expansion. They said they coming to Atlanta. I like that. Cherokee Nation is coming up with some permanent housing. Yeah, this gonna be dope. This gonna be dope. This gonna be dope. And I like this zoning reform. So you see it yourself. You see it yourself. Let's continue though with what we said was gonna happen, so that you guys can see what else we talked about, because we did mention that there would be a death, and unfortunately there was a death. Okay, so as we know, baby boy, let's share it. Baby boy Tito Jackson died September 15th. 2 days later after we did that video, he died. And so this was Michael Jackson's brother. We said it could be something with the arts and music. And I did think it would be more into politics, but it's something. I wonder if this guy was really spiritual. Something tells me that he was very. He might have been a very, or made some sort of peace, or kind of knew or something. Because it's some people, they like, oh, I wasn't ready to go, and they weren't ready, and they're like, okay. And there's a peaceful element around this. I'm not in his family or his business. Well, maybe only they know what was his, what was going on with him or whatever. But he died September 15th on Sunday at the age of 70. And so they left the world, the world of music in mourning. So Tito Jackson was the original member of the Jackson Five. This is Michael Jackson's brother, the Royal Jackson family, the Royal Black American Jackson family from Gary, Indiana. These Black American indigenous boys, and girls. And so he gets to rejoin Michael. And this is it's sad, but at the same time it's like there's a peacefulness around this death, because 70, is a decent age. And he stayed at the limelight. I don't know, we didn't really hear much about Tito Jackson. I have to say, we hear more about Jermaine than him. But I presume, he still's doing music, because you can see him with his guitar. He's old as hell. He still has a guitar. So he did music all the way up until his death. Look at him. So he was still doing music, you know. And so rest in peace. Hope, or rest or rise in peace rather, Tito Jackson, because you're in another transitory phase. He goes on into another dimension, a dimensional phase. That is of a lighter body than what's on planet Earth. And so I think there's a peacefulness around this energy. We knew it would be somebody that died. And so it was Tito Jackson. And so let's get next week's reading started. And you guys, if you guys would like a reading, you can contact me on my websites or whatnot. Um, It's up to you. There's no pressure. I enjoy doing these weekly because it allows me to program for one, the matrix, but it also this sharpens me a bit. And so again, I'm not one to just make it seem like I'm totally altruistic. um with everything that I do, I'm honest about that because I understand human nature. But at the same time, it's like harm ye none. Like do what is the less damage that but creates the most utility. That's my thinking. What creates the less damage, and what creates the greatest utility, while still making sure that my needs are met. That's how humans should approach the world, because you'll get more done. There's more productivity, more creativity, more innovation, more balance, because we pretty much have similar interests, as humans across the board, regardless of your race and gender and age. You pretty much have similar interests. You gotta go to sleep. You gotta eat. You gotta shit. You gotta have a roof over your head, and you gotta have some clothes on your back, right? I mean, and you really don't even need the income to do that. But we're in a capitalist society. But yeah, you gotta shit. You gotta eat. You gotta go to sleep. You gotta have some clothes on your back, and you have a roof over your head, some food on the table. It's simple interests that all humans share, regardless of where you're at in the world. And so, how do you create the most utility to get that done while reducing your harm, or reducing, as you guys would say, your entropy, your randomness? But I say you organize your internal entropy of your systems on planet Earth. Um, yeah, I'm speaking to uh, my equals with that last line. Okay, I don't expect the average person to understand that part, but those that's in the know, you got to know. Okay, so what's the energy for next week? What's the energy for next week? What's gonna happen 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 next week? Ooh, okay. Oof, 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 oof. Hmm, not too bad, but it's not the worst either. So let's see here. It's not the worst, but it's not the best. I'll say that. It's not the worst, but it's not the best. And we may see some drama. We may see some drama this week. We may see some drama. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. Okay, so this is next week's spread. And remember, today is the 20th. And so what's going to be next Friday? So the 27th. So from the end of this video, when it's published and posted, with timestamp, that will be, I'll share it on my Twitter page to just save the timestamp. And then that will be until the 27th. Okay, 27th of September. But look, guys, you see the spread in front of you. Am I sharing it? I want to make sure that I'm sharing. Okay, I have to say, we're looking at something that there can be like a sudden upheaval, a sudden crisis, sudden upheaval. This could relate to an alliance of three, or something with three. This could be three people, three institutions, or three. Oh man, let me write this stuff down. Actually, wow. Okay, let's see real quick. Sudden upheaval, or crisis with third party. I'll say third party, or three. Something with three comes up. This could be three people, three countries, an alliance, or three institutions. Three. This could be even resignations. Sorry, guys. That just helps me connect better to the universe. Resignations. Um, what is, yeah? We're looking, but for the better. Like whatever this energy is, it allows for greater expansion, greater growth with this sudden upheaval. whatever this is, whatever this shakeup is, shakeup. We get a greater growth, a greater expansion in consciousness, but also growth of our entire planet. Okay. Um, this is interesting. Third party, but there's something with options comes up. Options. I'm telling you, the spread is a little difficult to interpret because I'm seeing stuff with military that could be possibly like military. Does something happen with military? Or something gets. What is this? So it looks like there may be some pressure or some reorganizing to make sure that goals and actions are in alignment in major systems, one of them being military or intelligence. That's the first thing that comes up. uh I got a feeling people gonna be leaving something, but it's gonna allow for something better to come in. So the resignations come in, but resignations were all last week, but this could be something even more major. Resignations of a major type. This is not just like a CEO resignation. It's a little bit. It's more major than a CEO resignation, and I could be off on this, but I'm just going with the flow of what I see. Due to distrust or guilt, distrust and guilt comes up. Distrust and guilt. This is public distrust or guilt. Extreme. There's going to be a is something. The thing is, again, it balances out towards the end of the week, but the beginning of the week is going to be a little shoddy. I have to say, it's going to be a little rough. Um, there'll be a little bit of um. I would say some people. I'm trying to now. I want to go into individual. I want to stay on global for a minute. I'm not going to go into the individual yet. I'm just literally trying to just channel, put all this stuff together. Yeah, so there's a element where the system is overwhelmed by too many choices and need to focus on realistic goals. So there's some little bit of disorganization, pressure to reorganize. Yeah, so there may be some disorganization and it needs to be dealt with, or procrastination relating to this could honestly travel comes up. So guys, be careful with if you're planning on doing any travel. Make sure you give yourself some time. Um, if you can, as far as like if you can do something like a day beforehand or a couple of hours before you got whatever your engagements are, I will say if you can, there's a lot of disorganization relating to the travel as usual. I don't know what that always comes up, but I'm connected to air energy, so I could see that easily. But also, the disorganization relates to military or intelligence. So that if there's something disorganized, this will be a good week to work on it. And so that may mean there may be some major, um, like again, this sudden upheaval. Uh, yeah. Hmm. Another thing that we see is like somebody leaving a company or somebody, but this somebody leaving something major, something. Yeah, there's some resignations, but this is a bit more than just what happened this week. This is a little bit more global. Like this is something that kind of is like what, huh? Oh shit, that type of thing. Um, and I wonder if this is in government, American government, American government or military. I don't know what the hell that's about. Why does that come up? I have to say this is one of a harder spread, and I feel like it's like the universe challenging me. to a degree. But there is an upsetting crisis that allows for more freedom and authenticity that's going to take place. That I have to say. And there's some unplanned changes that, but they're beneficial though. And then there's this is facing of the truth, no matter how painful. And we have a woman in the mix, this Queen of Wands, you know. So I wonder if there's a female that's going to be resigning, or a female, something with a female that has this major changes or something, or drops out, or of a somebody that drops out of something. And then it's a, you know, the energy is like whatever whatever systems mean well, they haven't been delivering as promised. This is a chance to sort of work on moving forward in creative pursuits with organization, being more organized. Um, yeah, I got a feeling this is some. It could be a female resigning. You know, there's something with a female, or men, but there's something major shakeups. So we'll see. Let's see. I'm gonna put that in here. So female resign. Now I want to go to individual. Okay. I want to see if I can see anything that's more of beneficial. Whatever the changes are, though, whatever the sudden upheaval, it does lead to. I'm telling you, it does lead to greater alliance, and a greater growth. Whatever this energy is, but it's not without challenge. Again, you see, there's a lot of distrust. You see that there's some anxiety and guilt, wishing to turn back time, and so it'll work itself out. It'll work itself out. But it's interesting. I wouldn't be shocked if there's some sudden crisis that comes up this week. But again, the to get through the dark night of the soul and to grow, you know, a lot of times there's a catalyst or there's a challenge, and so that's how I would look at it. It's more of a challenge, but it does look like there's whatever this crisis is. It allows for an expansion of growth for the entire country. And so, in that sense, it'll be interesting to see what it is. Again, I'm getting possible resignation of someone major. Could be a male, could be a female, or a shakeup, um, in relation to the disorganization, and procrastination of certain systems. One being travel, then the other one being military, possible intelligence agencies. Uh, Something major. It could be a government official that resigns, you know, but it's something major. It's a shakeup. So that could be something, even exposure of something. But whatever it is, it allows for greater alliance and, um, it will work itself out. But we have to make sure that there's organization, because what I'm seeing is there may be too many choices or overwhelmed by something. There's something where there's a lot of options too. I hope the stock market doesn't fuck up, because when you see options and you see this tower, and I'm like, I hope that doesn't relate to like a turn in the damn stock market or something. You know, that could be that too. Be careful. You know, September is usually bad for stocks, but the Feds had cut rates, and so it was kind of like a rally going on. But it's that rally may, you know, I don't know. You know, just be careful. You got this last week, and so we'll see. We'll see. I hope that's. I'll put that in there just in case. So it may be a like a stock downturn, or something. I don't know. But yeah, let's go to individual though, because individually, let's see. I have to say, the beginning of the week, you may notice. I would say you may notice again that procrastination, starting to feel a little overwhelmed by too many choices, or you know, you may, if you feel that way, you immediately want to just come up with a plan. And also, don't take things so lightly this week. Like, I'm talking about an individual level. Uh, lighten up. Don't take things so serious. That's another thing of advice. But be careful of someone who wants to come and play a mind game with you. And let people play mind games with you today. I mean, this week, ever. But like, I was just saying, this particular week, you may notice someone that wants to play some type of mind game, or you know, and this could just be a friend or something. But you want to check them. So a lot of people gonna be checking motherfuckers this week. Like, nah, you gonna grow, we be friends or whatever, but nah, you're not about to sit up there and play no mind games with me. And if we gonna move forward, we gotta develop trust. And so something may become uncovered to you this week. Something may get revealed from someone, or you didn't know, or it was sudden. Another thing is, some people, you guys are going to be either finding a new lease, possibly, like maybe someone's trying to get into look for a new lease or apartment or moving. There's going to be a lot of that, and that looks fine. Maybe a little bit of anxiety though, but you may feel overwhelmed by the move. But it's overall, it's going to be a good thing to move. Uh, there's people that are planning to go on dates. There may be delays with dates though. So like if you're trying to go to the dates, um, they go out to eat or something like that, or go party or whatever. You may notice some delays, or someone have to take a rain check. So this could be like someone may overpromise something, and then they're like, "Oh, sorry guys, they didn't deliver as promised." They were well intentioned though. They were very well intentioned. So if that happens to you, don't get mad at the person, because they didn't mean anything by it. They weren't trying to be harmful or anything. They just literally something come up. Literally some shit came up. So that's the thing here too. Yeah, and also be mindful of the delays. There could be some delays. Another thing, say for those who are in business or any sort of marketing, business or sales, you may want to come up with more strategy or a plan, or more sales channels, something relating to that, because you may notice something sudden, or a sudden change, or something that makes you pivot. If you're into sales or marketing, uh, just be careful. I won't say be careful, nothing to be careful of, but I would say, make sure you could say cross your T's, dot your I's, solid plan, multiple sales channels, be able to pivot, think quickly, and if you're procrastinating, or being disorganized with your marketing or with your sales or any, you want to jump on that and take care of it this week. Another thing, as far as relationships, you may notice a little bit of distrust, or just I won't say distrust, but past wounds coming up, that's being projected onto one another, that prevents people from moving forward, from taking the relationship to a deeper level. And so the projection thing may be something that's major this week too. You want to call it out. Okay, don't project these things on me. Oh, I'm not playing any mind games, and then get back to business. But I would say the week looks good. It does start off a little shoddy, maybe some procrastination and disorganization. Jump on it. Make sure your goals are realistic and that your actions are aligning with your goals. Um, yeah, that's what I would say. Don't let people play mind games with you. And so I have to say that's what I get for the individual reading. I'm trying to see if I get anything that's global. No, this honestly, I have to say this was a harder spread for me to interpret. I have to say, normally it's not that, but that's because it was a lot of energy. The first thing that came up was like sudden departures and the shake up upheaval, and then like military things start coming in, then like alliances, and I don't know. It was a lot to cipher through. It was a lot. It does feel like you're going through like these qubits of information, like looking at all this data in a universe and like trying to decipher it. It's not easy. It's not. And there's some things you don't get right, and I'm okay with that. Like, no one can hold that over my head. Oh, you said this and this didn't come. Yeah, I don't care, because most of the things I say do come to pass. And so on some level, I'm able to see something. I'm seeing something. But let's see. Very interesting spread. I'm trying to see. Yeah, yep. And so we'll come back next week on the 27th to make sure, to edify what we discussed, to do a review, and to continue with our weekly tarot. But we want to see what kind of shake, what the hell is this energy that I'm seeing, like this sudden crisis, this sudden. But again, the main point you need to take from it is it leads to a greater expansion. Okay. And like I said, if y'all know that you got a trip planned, get to the airports early. If you're thinking about buying your plane ticket or a train ticket, whatever it is, if you now you got a certain engagement at a certain time, if you can try to, and think of it as, make it fun. Like, okay, I'll get there early, and if if say if I'm completely wrong and you just got there early, make sure you have something planned that's fun, you know But I do think I would recommend that if there is a flight in particular, air flight, um, that you make sure that you go with a what is it an airline that is less prone to delays. Some airlines have more delays than others. You want to maybe go with an airline that doesn't have much as delays as others. You may want to, you know, book something a little earlier than what you got to get for your engagement. If you don't have a timed engagement, don't worry about this. Don't worry about nothing I'm saying. I'm talking about motherfuckers that got to travel to be at such at 3 p.m. This meeting at 4 p.m. This at 12 p.m. That type thing. You may want to get a plane ticket that's a little bit that plan, plan a time ahead is what I'm saying. Like, so if you know you got an engagement at 3 p.m. and you know your plane is supposed to arrive or depart at a certain, maybe it departs at 12 or whatever, and it takes an hour and a half or something to get to whatever you got to get to. Try to look at that. Get a time that's before that is what I'm saying. Get there earlier. Do things a little earlier this week because it's a lot. There could be some delays. Oh, as it relates to air and travel mainly is what I'm seeing. Yeah. That would also be my advice. Okay. So I'm going to talk to you guys later. Talk to you guys next week. I'm going to do another video this today though, either today or tomorrow. So I'll talk to you guys later. Love you. Bye.